such a strong first quarter. Were you a bit disappointed with the second half?
Are we ignoring the second quarter as well, or just the first quarter?
Second, third, fourth quarters.
Can you your question
Just
again?
after that, after the first quarter and what you did, were you disappointed that you allowed West
No, we
Coast?
kicked 5-3 in the second to 3-1, so I thought that was pretty positive. I reckon. No, I thought that was really good, and I thought the third quarter we still dominated general play and entries. And 2-2 to 3-2, we just sort of got a bit cheeky, got a bit ahead of ourselves. 14 entries to 6 is general play domination. So yeah, it was just a bit of use on entry, and defenders just getting forward of the ball. But that's human nature. When you're dominating, you're going to start taking some liberties. It's a really good reminder, league footy, how quickly you get bitten. And then the last quarter, they fought on, and we sort of went through the motions, to be honest. And so that's a bit disappointing. We'd like to close it right out, but I'm really focused, particularly on the first 3 quarters. I thought it was super, to be honest.
That first term, was that the best under you as a coach, do you think?
I couldn't compare, to be honest. I still think, if you want to go back, our MCG final in 2012, our first half was a powerful brand. So, but I thought our first half, I thought the second quarter was still really, really strong. So, and the third quarter, again, I'll say it again, we sort of dominated general play and entry. So it was really just the last quarter you're dealing with, but it's a non-issue for us.
You're very clinical with your ball use inside 50. You've worked quite hard on that. Were you really pleased with the way the guys executed in their opening term in the first half?
Yeah, first half, yeah. And then the third quarter, some slower stuff, and they got a heap of numbers back and clogged it and those sort of things. So we could have dealt with that a bit better. And that's a great learning for us. Yeah, we worked hard, they're a very good team. I think they kicked last week, like an enormous amount, didn't they? So they come in good form, and we'll come in good form. And I just thought when the game was up for grabs, when the whips were cracking, I thought our boys were outstanding.
How good was the midfield in combination with Aaron and the guys at ground level?
Our stoppage work was strong, but there's bigger challenges around, with respect. We play Sydney next week. I mean, they played in 2 of the last 3 grand finals, I think, and they're an elite midfield and they're fiercely competitive. So, with respect, the calibre goes up.
Lucky, that's your second Glendinning medal. Do you enjoy these games?
I think as a club, we like these games. We like the big games, and next week will be no different. So, yeah, looking forward to that.
How did you feel out there? Everything seemed to be falling for you, obviously off the back of a lot of hard work. Good day all up.
Yeah, I think the first 3 quarters, as Ross has said, was pretty strong, but our last quarter we dropped away, and I think last quarter as well, clearances and ground ball were a little bit down as well. So we'll look at that and hopefully fix that for next week.
You mentioned in the post-game interview on the ground that Brett Kirk's been a key mentor for you. What are some of the things that he's really impressed upon you, particularly inside?
Yeah, well, as you know, he's been an inside beast with the competition when he was playing. So I suppose for me, my hardness and tackling and things like that had to improve when I walked through the door. So he's really helped me with that. And as you know, like I said before, he's one of the fiercest blokes that played. So to have him around has been a massive help for me.
Yes, how much does having Zach Clark and Matt Taverner in attack increase your marking potency there, particularly when Zach catches it like he did today?
Yeah, and Chris Mayne. Yeah, so the height's helped. Well, they're undermanned in defence a little bit. I think Schofield's quite tall. I can't remember who. Schofield and Govan. Yeah, but then they've obviously had a couple of challenges. So, look, the height, Taberner's really coming on. He improved again. And and Clark and Sandiland's a little bit there in Maney. So we are taller. So it's if you go to the previous 3 years, it's really been Clark, Mayne and Pavlich, but it's really Pavlich, Taberner, Clark and Mayne. So we've always got at least 3 there. So it's given us good structure in front of the ball for the smalls like Lockie. Lockie's kicked 3 to work off, and Walters. And there was no Ballantyne today. So look, we're taking 17 marks inside forward 50 to their 9. So they're pretty good numbers. And there's no doubt that height helps the mids kick it to someone.
Did you, knowing that they do have some challenges down there, did you look to stretch them a little bit more, like Nathan went forward, actually started a couple of quarters for, I think?
Yeah, look, not overly, because if you focus on that, you can get ahead of yourself. And we think our ball use will stand up whether they're short, they're tall, you know. So, but there was a couple of, when we went deep a couple of times, there was a height advantage, so that helped a couple of times, no doubt. But it wasn't something. Modern defences and modern defenders play up in front a fair bit, and you can get trapped in. You think you're getting it over the back all the time. So we just focus on our leading patterns and our ball use, and I thought that really helped us.
Ross, you touched on that win over Geelong a few years ago in the final and how ruthless that was. What are some of the ingredients that makes for such a clinical performance like we saw in the first half today?
Oh, look, I know that's an interesting question, but really, it's never as good as you think. It's never as bad. You know, what's clinical? I just think, you know, we were very good and they were clearly a bit off. So when you put two together, and I think the last quarter highlights how at elite level and particularly AFL footy, there's such a, you know, small percentage difference between going really well and going really poorly for both teams. I thought you saw that at different times today. So we're under no illusions. We're no juggernaut. We're a hard-working, blue-collar team that when we do things well, we're capable, but if we back off, we'll get hurt quickly. So there's no happier person than the coach about the last quarter. So we hear the message. They come home strong, and as you're saying, we didn't play very well in the last quarter, so we'll acknowledge that. But it's a really sharp reminder for us, so I'm the happiest person in the room, really.
Ross, what did you make of Lockie's game?
Yeah, look, we're thrilled. No, I think that to win second, Lockie stands up under heat. He stands up in finals type footy because he wins his own ball, and he's a selfless team player. So again, the better you perform, the more they'll come after you. So, but what we like is weight of numbers. Do you go to Neil? Do you go to Fife? Do you go to Mundy? Do you go to Barlow? Do you go to Daniel Pearce? So we quite like, or Subin, you know. So the best teams run deep through the midfield, and Lockie, you know, he come over. Well, he hasn't been perfect. You know, we've had a couple of honest conversations, but he's dedicated to his footy and he wants to be a top flight player. So we don't do anything to that except provide the environment that allows him to do that. So he's an incredibly focused, as it sits at the minute, hard working. But you might write a headline, and you know, if we have to give him a clip over there on Wednesday, we will. So. But yeah, he's a fine young man who's displaying great character on the footy field.
How beneficial is it to have a bunch of young guys like Lockie who you can just rely on so early in their careers?
Yeah, well, they help all those 30-year-olds out, don't they?
Ross, to get multiple goals again from midfielders, is that something you worked on during the pre-season to try and get those?
Yeah, every team wants to spread of goal kickers, and they move around so much now. Are they forward? Are they wing? Are they back? I mean, I struggle to track them a little bit how much they move around. So, but it certainly helps the burden. But one swallow doesn't make a summer. So, look, we've been improving our capabilities in spreading the load. But again, we're really, to be honest, we're already spoken about Sydney, and they were already spoken about us. So, it's going to be one of the games of the round, and everything we did today we'd like to do, but we know. You know, West Coast were a little bit off early and we were right on, but I think two equal forces will meet next week. And we saw what they did to Port Adelaide over there. They'll bring real heat for a long period of time. And we'd like to keep the spread of goal kickers going. We're going to need them, but it's going to become a bigger challenge.
Some might say it's a potential grand final preview.
Yeah, only those that write different stories to the ones we focused on. It clearly wouldn't come from within.
Do you adjust your recovery because of A, the 6-day break,
Yep.
and B,
Yeah, strong point. It's a 6-day break, but they've got to travel, so it's 6-day breaks as a one-off are fine. They become really problematic when they're consecutive and in a short space of time, either back-to-back or 3 weeks in a row or 3 out of 4 weeks, which we've faced before, and you're travelling. So a 6-day break at home, there's no excuses for us.
Have you come through with a clean slate injury?
We have, yeah. I think like Pav come off with a cork buttock or leg, and Sonny Walters rolled his ankle, but no, we're fine. And De Boer was subbed out just to give Crozier a run. So, and Appeal, we come out off a strong performance, pretty healthy. Had some strong performances down there, Pearce and Brady Gray, and Connor Blakely, and Tendai Mzungu was fantastic, and John Griffin. So there's some pressure on for spots, and we spoke about that pre-game as well.
Look, you mentioned big games earlier. Does the excitement start for Sydney already?
Yeah, as Ross said, we've moved on to that now, and Sydney's going to be a great challenge, and especially in the midfield, and they've got really good mids, Kennedy, Parker, those sorts. So it's going to be a great battle, and yeah, we look forward to the challenge.
Thanks, Phil.